world-renowned South African musician Johnny Clegg had a hit song, Wimpy, which means war in Zulu, many years ago. Well, Metropolitan Republic have taken this iconic song, altered it, and aligned it with one of South Africa's oldest and well-loved fast foods.
Wimpy, lekker breakfast, bacon, boerie and eggs over easy. Wimpy, tasty breakfast, this one's not for lighties or for sissies. Wimpy, let's grace my China, Benny and your butter flippin' hungry. Wimpy, blah 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 blah, junior mates, pokies and your auntie. Wimpy.
Founder of Metropolitan Republic, Paul Warner, and creative director Wesley Phelan are here to give us background on the campaign. So from a war cry to bacon and eggs, how did that transpire?
Wesley?
Well, basically, the truth of the matter is that every morning when we walked into the agency, we have a lady who works there called Linky, and it started out Linky, blah 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 blah. And in the end, when the brief came along, we turned it into Wimpy, lekker breakfast.
We should have had Linky instead.
I think that's hilarious. What does Johnny Clegg think about the...
Johnny Clegg loves it, actually. He's been
really?
accosted at the airport. They actually think it's his commercial.
Right.
Like, obviously, the song, people go, oh, it's a great commercial you've made. Yeah.
Seriously, the implications on the song and getting the rights to the song, what did you have to do to get that right?
Well, it was quite a bit of to and froing with Johnny Clegg because, you've got a guy who's going, we're sitting with him going, well, it's one of South Africa's most loved songs. They play it at the rugby. They play it all over the country. It's like one of our most unofficial national anthems, the actual song itself. So we had to sit there and convince him through about, 25 meetings, why we want to spoof it and why we think his words were fabulous, but we just like to change them. So it was it was quite a tense moment, and it lasted about 3 months. The negotiations, but he agreed to,
and I think
after we put a check in his back pocket.
Yeah, of course. That always helps.
I think the key thing is he's not really playing a huge part in the World Cup now. So for us, he's a national icon. And if we could get him out there at this time, I think, that's almost our responsibility as South Africans,
And you cleverly got Afrikaans people to finally sing a Zulu song.
This is
finally.
Might not even get the anthem right.
Well, that's why we've added in the lyrics in there that go blah, 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 blah. Those are for the people who literally cannot hear the lyrics inside there. And we all do that. It's a human truth of the matter.
Yeah, before Wesley starts singing, what do you make of South African brands and strategies for this year? Strategies for this year, yeah.
South African brands
in terms of the World Cup.
Geez, that's
because they've
quite
coined it on everything.
Yeah, but there's only a few brands that actually got the luxury.
Yeah.
And that will open a whole another sort of can of worms because the FIFA is really kind of locked down.
Sure. But there's a lot of brands that have leveraged off this kind of spirit of the World Cup, isn't it?
But look, not actually hugely. If I think about it, and correct me if I'm wrong, Paul, but I see a lot of stuff, big stuff, for brands that got FIFA's endorsement to advertise. And the only other one that comes to mind is actually Kalula that's done a lot of really big, powerful stuff, and I think here and there, but I think it's been quite difficult. I don't think it's as easy as people think to do big and bold stuff. So I think pleasure to work on something like MTN.
Yeah, you know what? There's a lot of clutter out there. Apart from the official guys that are going out there, which have got the big checkbooks and everything like that. In every World Cup venue around the world, you get a lot of guerrilla tactics and things like that. But there will always be clutter. So you'll find all the unofficial brands have started to throw their weight and try and look like they're behind this thing. Yeah. And that's creating something called clutter. And now, even in amongst all that clutter, you need to take small campaigns with small budgets and everything, and you have to push through and drive through and break through that clutter. And humor is one of the ways of doing that, and standing completely different. No footballs, no guys kicking footballs, no stadiums, no...
There's enough of that, actually.
There's way too much of that. So this is just a completely different angle of it.
Wesley, why do you think the Wimpy brand is such a loved brand?
It's part of our heritage. It's been with us for a very long time, and every memory that you have probably on takeouts in your beginning, road trips, all the rest of them. Wimpy is literally a South African icon in itself, and then that's why when we partner up with someone like Johnny Clegg, the combination's great. It's that heritage and that emotion is you got that immediate buy into something, for example.
I just want to check something, just on your point now, because your argument is Wimpy is coming in and doing. But is it relevant to World Cup necessarily? I mean, that could have worked at any stage. I mean, it's nice to be in the vibe.
Strategically, it does fit nicely inside that World Cup period because, I mean, we're ambushing something where we haven't paid the large amounts of money to sponsor this, but it's still in that realm of sport and manly South Africanism.
But yet you're not stepping on FIFA's toes.
We are totally legal.
No.
There's been a survey. I mean, we just checked a website about 2 days ago where we're up there with big brands like Nike and Carling and all sorts of brands, international brands. They see the commercial as like a British commercial. I mean, because obviously Wimpy for them is also in London and those parts. So for them, it's a British commercial. But it's up there with a commercial that took 20 million euros to shoot, the Nike commercial. And then again, you've got our small little budgets here in South Africa, not an official sponsor really, to make that kind of wave.
You know, the thing is, I mean, just to also answer your question is, our group holds MTN, FMB and Coca-Cola. Now, through that, let alone, those are official sponsors, so they get the rights to broadcast. We get a lot of information from FIFA because we are sponsors of it, as an agency that's a sponsor of it, to learn that there is going to be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pieces of clutter. So we got all this information beforehand, and we knew a long time ago that there was going to be a war out there in the clutter, people trying to own it and everything like that. So deliberately, if you can try stand out from that and do something different and play on the, you know, everyone, there's way too much work out there that has got a football on it, and nothing is standing out. If you look at what the Vodacoms or the ABSAs or a lot of the brands are doing, they're trying to ride on with a lot of money, and they're putting a lot of unofficial spend behind it, trying to break through. But then you look at the cases of like the Kalulas, and you look at like Wimpy. These guys don't have a lot of money. So you've got to do something sweet and stand out. And talking to your Kalula point, I mean, that ad, I mean, it had us in you know, I mean, we were in tears over that ad when we saw that ad come out, because it was just such a fabulous way with little money to just give the guys the finger.
And it also said, now that's a yebo.
Do you think Wimpy will sell more breakfasts?
You know, time's got to tell. You know, you've got to, it's not just marketing that sells breakfast. There's a lot of things, price points, you know, where are the herds, the distribution, what is the footprint of the stores and everything. So there's a lot to
convenience.
There's a lot that's going to, I mean, the numbers that we've seen coming in they're looking good. They are looking really, really good. But, you know, some campaigns are there to sell product. Some campaigns are there to sell product, build brand.
Build brand, sure.
All right. Well, Wesley, Paul and Pepe, thank you very much.